Welcome to Weakness to Peakness. This is Adrian. Today I'm going to talk about why I chose to perform compound exercises during my weight loss journey. Some people have questioned why I chose to do that rather than doing like a bro split or more isolation exercises. And to break down the difference first of what a compound versus isolation exercise is. A compound exercise is an exercise that incorporates multiple muscle groups. So, for example, on the bench press, you are incorporating your chest, you are incorporating your triceps, you are incorporating a little bit of your forearm, you're incorporating your shoulders, all in one movement. Similar to a squat, you're incorporating your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes or butt. Additionally, you're also incorporating your core to keep yourself balanced, and any kind of flexion with your body and your core in all of that movement. That's a compound exercise. An isolation exercise would be like performing a bicep curl, where you are focusing just on a solitary muscle, or a calf raise, where a solitary muscle group is being focused on. Now, the first reason why I actually chose to use these exercises is I used to lift weights, and I used to lift weights heavily. However, I allowed myself to get overweight and not really lift weights the way I should. So I'm classifying myself as basically a beginner. Now, as a beginner, you really want to incorporate as many muscles as possible in your movements for functionality and to make sure that you're not isolating one group and create, I don't even know what to call this. Some people may call it body dysmorphia, but you may cause imbalances. That's what it is, imbalances. You don't want to have a massive chest and nothing else. You don't want to have a massive back and be flat and everything else look funky, really skinny arms. You want to have balance. Like, nobody wants to just focus on bicep and have a really nice bicep and then have a very small tricep. You're going to have very small arms, although your bicep may be massive. Your triceps take up 2/3 of your arm, so you're going to need a large portion of both. You need that balance so that it's visual and good. Additionally, I am choosing compound movements, not only because of my beginner level status, but because I want to incorporate the largest groups of muscles first. For example, muscle burns more fat, or muscle burns more calories, than fat does. So the larger muscles I can get, the quickest I can get them is by going after the large muscle groups. If I go and I just train calves and train wrists and work on my neck and work on just my butt or my glutes, I'm not going to burn a lot of calories. So I want to put on as much of the large muscle that I can as quickly as possible to help increase my BMR and burn off weight. That's kind of the reason why I did it. So to break out the benefits of why compound exercise I feel are the best in this case, if you're a beginner or you're just returning to the gym years later, or you've been off for at least a year or more and haven't really exercised, are these points. You're talking about your metabolism and you're talking about your overall energy expenditure. You're going to have higher calorie burn. With multiple muscles being engaged, you're going to see those compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, activate several large muscle groups simultaneously. As in the example I said earlier, the squat, you're working your quadriceps, you're working your hamstrings, you're working your glute, additionally your core. And there may be other additional stabilizing muscles that are also working in tandem to help keep your balance and keep your whole body intact. That means you're expending more energy. Additionally, because they're larger movements and you're utilizing your entire body, you can also have increased intensity, meaning you can push yourself harder. Whereas you don't see people curling, 100 pounds, at least not the average person. Doesn't mean that someone can't do it, but it's much easier for someone to pull down for 100 pounds because they're incorporating their back, their biceps, their wrist, they're incorporating rear delts, they're incorporating more muscles. So your overall intensity of a compound movement is higher compared to an isolation exercise. This is going to lead to greater calorie burn overall. The second point is, as I pointed to, it's going to increase your metabolism. So the quicker you can gain that muscle, the quicker you're going to also be able to burn off fat, because it's going to take more calories to maintain that muscle. Or you're basically going to be running into the fact of that muscle mass is going to require more metabolically active tissue. That means that your body's going to burn more calories at rest. So when you're not doing anything, your body has a natural state of burning calories. The more muscle you have on, the more just naturally you're going to be burning off calories. So you want to get more mass as quickly as possible, as I mentioned earlier. Additionally, this is going to help your metabolism in after workouts. You're also going to get what's called like post-workout effect, or I don't know. I know there's a word for it. They used to call it afterburn or something like that. It's also post-exercise, oxygen consumption. This happens when your body needs more oxygen to recover from your high intensity or full body workouts, which then causes you to then use more calories because your blood's flowing faster. Your muscles are requiring that oxygen. They're requiring that blood flow, which requires energy. And this can happen for minutes to hours after your workout. So every time you've reached 120, heart rate or above, and you're in that workout phase, you should be having that. Additionally, just working out, even just enough to get the blood flowing, helps increase that. A nice light jog, those type of things increase that metabolism. Additionally, time is a factor. I wish I didn't have a job. I wish I didn't have dogs I had to take out and have to do additional things. I wish that I didn't enjoy video gaming so much. I want some time for that, which then means that what am I going to do? I'm going to perform the most efficient workout I possibly can. So I can save time by doing compound movements additionally, because I'm getting them all focused in a very good positive way to reinforce that functionality and get those muscles I may not be getting the dedicated need I may need later. But once I'm down to a good weight and I can actually see where my muscle groups are, then I will be able to identify if maybe I need to really focus on biceps, or maybe I really need to focus on triceps, or I will see where my muscle weaknesses are and where those imbalances are so that I can improve my body. Additionally, it's just full body training is just good. Compound movements can serve as a really great foundation for a full body workout. As I start wanting to add pieces here and there, maybe I say, okay, I can do my normal full body workout, and then let me add calf raises. Let me then do wrist curls, and maybe I want to do preacher curls. Maybe I want to do other objects to focus on other areas after I've already pre-exhausted from those compound movements, making it easier to isolate those muscles afterwards additionally. As I've discussed before, I've had a really, really high heart rate. I'm certain much of it is because I'm just obese. However, being overweight increases my heart rate, causing my blood flow to be heavy. By using these large muscle groups and using so many, it's requiring all that oxygen flow that I discussed earlier to be then going to those muscles. This allows me to make my heart work, and the stronger your heart becomes, the lower your heart rate normally will become, because your heart will work more efficiently, allowing me to overall improve my heart health. So I may be increasing my heart rate for these workouts in the ultimate goal of lowering my heart rate, lowering my blood pressure, strengthening my heart. Additionally, as my body starts to adapt and understand how to work with that oxygen and that increased amount of oxygen, I should start to see endurance improvements. By incorporating those compound exercises, again, I'm using more muscles than just a few isolated ones that won't really require that much effort except for focus on a certain area. I'm incorporating a large portion of my body each time, which, raises the heart rate, causes the blood flow, need more oxygen to keep those muscles going, which then eventually, you jog for a while. I'll give this as an example. You jog for 30 minutes, you're winded. But then you do it the next day, you jog for 30 minutes, you're winded. And then suddenly you realize, I'm jogging for 35 minutes. I'm going to build up that endurance. Those muscles are going to know what to do. My heart's going to know what to do. The blood flow, the oxygenation, everything is going to increase. I'm going to see those cardiovascular benefits that I really need, knowing that I have that higher and elevated heart rate while during this weight loss journey. And lastly, as I've previously mentioned, but more clarity, is that I will be gaining muscle mass while focusing on fat loss. This means I should be building on my lean muscle through compound exercises to improve my body condition and my composition. I should be able to eventually get my muscle to fat ratio to a point where the fat starts falling off. It's not something that's easy to say because it's over time, but it should get to a point where if I'm at my same calorie deficit and I am working out the same way I am, but yet at my increased progressions to continually push myself and keep the heart rate going, keep the muscle pressed, and I keep increasing in mass, I should get to a point where my muscle to fat ratio basically flips and I'm burning off more than I can handle. And this will help me burn more fat. And lastly, enhanced fat oxidization. As my muscle mass increases, my body's ability to oxidize or burn that fat is going to improve, leading to more effective fat loss. So that is the primary reason why I chose to perform compound exercises. I know there are many routines out there, and I could have gotten into a much more comprehensive exercise routine. However, for me, I felt this was the fastest, easiest, optimal solution for me as of right now. As I've discussed in previous videos, I will perform this for 3 weeks, and then I will see what else I feel that I can incorporate or I need to do, or maybe even modify. As of right now, I feel like this might be good for at least 4 to 6 weeks, but I'm gonna try and push it to 3 weeks, and then I'll see if I want to start incorporating additional muscle groups, more like isolated shoulder exercises or isolated tricep, bicep, calves, wrists, additional factors on top of that focused area. But that is also more time consuming, so I have to identify where I can actually meet there while still attaining my goals. But so for those who may have asked or may have wondered, this is the reason why I chose the comprehensive exercise that I did and why I chose to use compound exercises. If again, I gave you a few examples before, but here are some more compound exercises in case you want to incorporate them for yourself. I would say squats is definitely one. This is going to focus on your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, and your core. Deadlifts, if you can handle them, I still feel that that's more of an exercise that falls into like an intermediate exercise once you really gain core strength and you understand how your body works. However, that does incorporate your hamstrings, your glutes, your lower back. Additionally, your traps. That's the muscles up here between your shoulders and your head. And your core. Bench press, as I've already discussed, is your chest, triceps, shoulders, upper back. Pull-ups or lat pull-downs or bent over barbell rows. Those will work on your latissimus dorsi, or your lats, the V-shaped muscle that comes along your back, your biceps, your shoulders, and your upper back. Lunges, in addition to squats, these will also work on your quadriceps, your hamstrings, glutes, and core. Push-ups, chest, triceps, shoulders, and core. One that I have not introduced yet, but I probably actually will be adding to my exercise routine soon, the overhead press. This is very good, as it will focus on your core, keeping your balance, your shoulders, pushing up over your head, your triceps, and your upper back. These are just some examples, and I hope that if you happen to incorporate any of these, you understand why I've taken this approach, and if you happen to incorporate them yourself, why they would benefit you in your own approach. Thank you for joining tonight, and peace.